Hello and welcome to Why No English, where we look at Japanese games that were never translated into English and find out exactly why that is. Today's game is Mado Monogatari. The game centers around Alulu, a boy attending a magic kindergarten. Today is the day of a big test, which Alulu falls asleep during, and then wakes up, blindly answers all the questions, and somehow manages to pass with flying colours. We then learn that Alulu is actually the only one who passed the test, and has to undergo the next phase, which takes place in a dungeon-like tower filled with puzzles and monsters. Let's pause for a second to take some of that in and do some basic maths about how fucking wrong all of that is. The children in a Japanese kindergarten are a maximum of 6 years old. One of them has to go alone into a tower in order to fight monsters and overcome magical trials. In Pokemon, the beloved and accepted Japanese franchise that we all know and love, Ash is 10.
And now that I'm 10, I can finally get my Pokemon license.
10-year-olds can get a beginner Pokemon from Professor Oak, the town's Pokemon expert.
He is left to his own devices to travel around with anyone that he, in his 10-year-old wisdom, deems fit. Therefore, the age at which a child should be allowed to go out into the world and do something dangerous should be 10. Not 6, Japan. Not fucking 6. Not in the West. We decided a long time ago that if you're a child and you want to do something fucked up, you gotta be 10 years old. The only people with you in the tower are an old crone who's actually the principal of the kindergarten dressed up in a disguise, a hallucination of one of Alulu's teachers, Senpai, who graduated 2 years ago but has come back to watch over Alulu as she undergoes the trial, which, by the way, he graduated 2 years ago. That means he's fucking 8, not 10. As we discussed before, 10 is alright, Japan, not fucking 8, and not an 8-year-old taking care of a 6-year-old in a fucking dungeon. That's not right. If he was 10, it'd be a different story. If he was 10 and had a Pokeball in his hand and a Pikachu with him, fine, but not like this, Japan. We're not ready for it yet. Playing as Alulu, you'll navigate a maze-like tower in first person. As you go from floor to floor, you'll randomly fight appearing enemies, solve puzzles, and encounter various characters. You can even buy and sell items to whatever the fuck this is. Where this game shines for me is the magic casting. In order to cast spells, you have to hold down A and press directions on the D-pad. As you press the different directions, Alulu changes positions, and when you let go of A, he shouts the name of the spell as you cast it. Really satisfying. What also really hammers home the feeling of you are the one controlling the magic is that you can cast spells when you're just standing around. It's great because it really makes you feel like you're in control and not just waiting for the game to tell you when it's okay to cast a spell. I'm honestly surprised this game never got a reskin. Just turn the 6-year-old into some muscly guy, change all the blobs into bloodthirsty monsters, delete all elements of story. You got yourself a game. Oh man, Nintendo's so fucking for kids. Genesis is where it's at. Oh, you see that? You see that fucking thing? You would see that in Mario and shit. No, yeah, fucking Sonic. Yeah, die. Yeah, I love Genesis. When you play a game or watch a movie, it's usually the case that you understand the cultural conventions, characterizations, and tropes of that particular culture's media. Those kind of things serve as a sort of shorthand, so certain characters or situations require little to no explanation. If you lack sufficient cultural knowledge of these conventions, then you risk being caught up on the simple stuff and have more trouble accessing the more complex things that you want to engage with. In other words, we all want to go right down to the balls. But before you go down to the balls, you got to get past the tip. The problem is, when you're trying to go too deep too fast with something you're unfamiliar with, you'll never get past the tip. You have to take your time and put the effort in before you gag it down foreign media like you do at home. Releasing something on Genesis and expecting all of America and Europe to be happy with just the tip doesn't sound like a great plan, especially when we're all used to Sonic's blue balls slapping against our chins.